Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Good news, it's time to dive into that tense, terrifying, yet always terrific world of the Twilight Zone. Specifically, Season 1, Episode 24, Long Live Walter Jameson. Now, Rod promised us at the outro of the last episode that we may be dealing with a story of immortality, and I cannot wait. So wait no longer, we shall. If you could do me a quick favor and hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time it's time to journey into the Twilight Zone. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear, dear friends, all that is then and this is now. And now it's time to strap in and journey to the Twilight Zone as we watch Season 1, Episode 24, Long Live Walter Jameson. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go. I am a huge fan of immortality stuff. Give me whatever you want immortality. With a Highlander, sure, absolutely. Tuck Everlasting, I'm with you. I was actually a huge fan of the Highlander TV show with Adrian Paul as Duncan MacLeod. For that very reason, I like kind of the stories through time. Long live Walter Jameson. How long have you lived, Walter?
You're looking at Act 1, Scene 1 of a nightmare. One not restricted to witching hours and dark rain-swept nights.
Act 1, Scene 1 of a nightmare.
Professor Walter Jameson, popular beyond words, who talks of the past as if it were the present, who conjures up the dead as if they were alive.
I know this guy. As an older actor, I know him.
To give you a more comprehensive idea of this great hero, let me read you a few extracts from the diary of Major Skelton.
Walter, were you Major Skelton?
In the view of this man, Professor Samuel Kittredge, Walter Jameson has access to knowledge that couldn't come out of a volume of history.
He's not even reading it.
Which is to say that this nightmare begins at noon.
I actually think this actor playing Walter Jameson is in the Twilight Zone movie from the 80s, which I have seen. I think he plays, I can't remember, but he's in it, I believe.
I never lend books to absent-minded professors. Remember the last time?
Yes. You're right.
Anything wrong, Sam?
I just suspect that you're immortal. I love this show. You just never know where it's going to go. You never know who to root for. Should you be rooting for anybody?
Really, darling? Must you always be on time?
Always. Please. Remember, you're a PhD.
There's a little matter of an examination, remember?
A technicality. Anyway, you're going to be a housewife.
The devil she is. I'm giving you my daughter's hand, not her brain.
Really?
I take it back, Sam. She'll never be the cook you are.
What do you think you're doing, young lady?
Oh, I'll do the dishes later.
It's not the dishes I'm talking about. It's books and study.
You're not going to treat me this way, are you?
Worse. Who knows? You may have to support us.
God forbid.
My move, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Awesome. See, I'm a widower. The woman outside, very curious about.
Time marches on.
For some of us. Walter, tell me something, will you?
Of course.
How old are you? I seem to recall that when you applied for a post on the university staff, you listed your age as 39, which would make you 51.
Come on, Sam. All right, I'm 51. Too old for Susanna, is that it?
In a sense.
He's already got you figured out, ma'am.
In 12 short years, I've turned into an old man, while you haven't aged at all. But why?
Don't ask me, Sam. You're the chemist. I teach history.
Oh, Sam's a chemist. Okay.
The students say They say it's almost as though you'd lived through the period you were discussing.
Oh, did you find some pictures, dude?
Photographs taken by a fellow named Matthew Brady during the time of the Civil War. Walter, was your grandfather in the Civil War by any chance?
No.
Then I'd say we have something of a mystery here.
How so?
Here's somebody that looks exactly like you.
These are 3 of Sherman's staff officers. The one seated at the table is identified as Major Hugh Skelton. And that picture was taken almost 100 years ago.
Ruh-roh. Oh my God, we're at the intermission already. Oh, this show. I think y'all said season 4 was an hour long. Thank God.
Just because I happen to look like somebody in a photograph.
And happen to be wearing the same ring and happen to have the same small mole on the left side of your face? You are that man in the photograph, aren't you?
Yes.
How did it happen? No, go back to your original question. How old are you?
How?
He's got to keep the secret safe, Sam.
You wouldn't believe me.
I can believe anything now.
Really?
Let's say that I'm old enough to have known this gentleman personally.
Plato. 2,000 years. How, Walter? How?
Yep.
Tell me the secret.
I
There's no
can't
idea.
tell you the secret, Sam. Because I don't know it myself. Only if a man lived forever, I thought. Could there be any point in living at all? I met an alchemist. Told him these things. He said that he could grant my wish. Only, of course, it would cost a great deal of money. I was desperate. I paid him his money and submitted to his experiments. The alchemist had disappeared.
Go on.
Well, he's a chemist, right?
I saw my wife and my children aging. My friends dying. I tell you that somehow I can stop you from aging. Where do you want to stop? At 30? Then you watch everyone around you grow old. Do you want to live forever, the way you are now? Old, sick.
It's better than dying.
Watch your daughter grow old and die.
I'm very frightened.
Of what, death?
Yes, of death.
You're a fool, Sam. I want to die.
Then why don't you?
Can't.
Because I'm a coward.
Can he physically kill himself? Like, he's not invulnerable.
In my desk, I have a revolver, Sam. And every night I take it out and pray for the courage to pull the trigger.
Wow.
Say that you survived over 2,000 years without an accident, without being wounded?
Right.
Some people are lucky that way.
He was in the Civil War.
Thank you.
For what?
Being honest.
I thought if a man lived forever, he'd grow wiser. But that isn't true, is it?
You just go on living. That's all.
How long with each woman, Walter? 10 years? 15 years?
Before they realize you're not getting older.
Sam, I tried to resign 6 months ago. You talked me out of it. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I knew Susanna was falling in love with me. And I knew what would happen.
Then why didn't you leave?
Because by then it was too late. I was in love with her.
I can't let you marry my daughter.
And why not?
I was wondering when this was going to happen.
Your father seems to think I'm too old for you, darling.
That's the silliest thing I ever heard of.
And you'll marry me. Tonight.
I think you mean it.
I do.
I'll tell her.
She won't believe you. Nobody would. You won't believe it yourself by tomorrow morning.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so who was the woman that was hiding before? Maybe an old wife? Standards and practices must have had a field day with this one.
Who are you?
Don't you recognize me, Tommy?
Well, who are you Tommy with?
I'm afraid you're making a mistake.
No, Tommy.
My name is Jameson. Professor Walter Jameson.
Don't pretend.
Perhaps if you'll tell me who you're looking for.
Oh, stop it. I saw the picture in the newspaper announcing your engagement. I had to come to see if it was true.
True.
I can't explain it. I only know it's happened. I've grown old, and you haven't.
The reactionary shot with the eyes is great.
And leave her the way you left me.
She's going to kill him.
I can't let you marry her, Tommy. You're mine.
Ruh-roh. It was a weird infix of that flash of his house.
What is it? What's happened?
Oh, obviously she...
Walter?
Hello, Sam.
I thought I heard...
Is he hit?
Are you all right?
No.
I've come to my senses. At last.
At the end?
I'll call a doctor.
No.
Your hand.
He's getting old.
It's happening.
His hair's gray.
Nothing lasts forever. Thank God.
Wow. Music, I mean, just spine tingling. Great makeup. She's just gonna like turn into dust.
Walter?
He's gone.
Where?
I don't know, my dear.
What smells like gunpowder?
His clothes?
He's just dust. Holy, that's awesome.
Dad? What is that on the floor?
We're not real sure.
Last stop on a long journey.
The ring.
As yet another human being returns to the vast nothingness that is the beginning, and into the dust that is always the end.
Oh my gosh. All right, everybody, we just finished watching The Twilight Zone, Season 1, Episode 24, Long Live Walter Jameson. And the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished Long Live Walter Jameson, the 24th episode of the very first season of The Twilight Zone. Couple interesting notes in this one. In the outro, it was a very brief outro, and I believe of the 24 episodes that I've seen, it is the first one that Serling doesn't end with some type of mention of the Twilight Zone. You know, right now, Walter's spirit is floating in the Twilight Zone. We didn't hear anything like that. It just, you know, from the dust to the end, that was it. When we were left, you know, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. No mention of the Twilight Zone. Then we had that weird alternate sponsor thing, and then we got the outro for, or the I guess the bumper for next week. Incredibly cool stuff. This show's so well done. This one was interesting in exploration into immortality and the meaning behind it, which I think is great. So many like major topics are tackled by the Twilight Zone and subverted. You know, because we've had the people that have wanted to live forever, you know, and it hasn't really worked out with whether it be a devil's pact or something else. But in this one, we actually had somebody that did do it. You know, Walter Jameson, Tommy, whoever they happen to be, everybody, he had a chance to live these 2,000 plus years. You know, we greeted the alchemist or took the alchemist's drug. The alchemist disappeared whenever he woke up, you know, very mysterious set of circumstances that brought the alchemist both into Walter's life and then was removed from it. I thought it was interesting that Sam was a chemist. I sort of was half expecting this to kind of go down the way that it went down, but then we kind of clip over, you know, a 2 week later type of thing over in Sam, and Sam's like working with his beakers and everything, using the dust to try to figure out like exactly what was put into Walter, something like that. But again, it's the Twilight Zone. The speculation that that's in fact what Sam did is something that, you know, anybody can put into the Twilight Zone after watching this episode. What happened next? What happened with Suzanne? You know, again, what happened to all of these? Did anybody else come forward? What else did he do in history? Was he a good person? That was my big question. Because, you know, we were given the only instance of his backstory, so to speak, or his very, very long life of Walter Jameson was the Major, you know, Major Skelton or whatever, you know, alias he had at the time. And he was working for General Sherman, and he noted the atrocities of what Sherman was doing. So we did have a hint that Walter, again, that's just the catch-all for whatever this person's real name was, Walter seemed to understand even 100 years ago, you know, the evil of the world, the evil in men's hearts, the evil that was being done by Sherman in this particular moment. So he understood that respect, you know what I mean? But again, I don't think that that closes the door on who Walter was throughout. 2,000 years is a long time. And he said he was always close to death. Now, that's interesting because does that mean he kind of jumped from war to war, dangerous thing to dangerous thing? And I'm not saying that he did that, but a couple of those statements coupled with the idea that he wanted death at some point at the very least, I don't know. It's an interesting case study in what the truth behind immortality is. And I like that. You know, Sam desperately wanted it. I'm at the end of my life. I need to, do you really want to live forever as an old man who's already sick and he's better than dying? Walter was, I don't believe that to be true. However, with Walter, I don't know. Here's my conflict with Walter. Walter says that he wanted to die, that he was, basically sick of watching people that he loved grow old and die. However, he continued down that course. And you can say, oh, well, Suzanne, she moved in on him or she advanced, was attracted to him. And ultimately he fell prey to it and was attracted to her too. That's too much of an excuse that's laid at the feet of Suzanne. Was it Suzanne or Susanna? The daughter. And again, I don't think that that's fair. I don't think that you put yourself in that situation. You could have easily walked, you could have seen something like, dude, you had 2,000 years of experience. I think you can tell when somebody's interested in you romantically. And if you can't, I don't know how the hell you made it this far, right? But the interesting thing about this is he continued that repetition. Yes, he had a gun in his desk drawer that he, contemplated using every night. Sure, I believe it, but at the same time, he said that he was a coward, that he really couldn't do it. I don't know. I kind of question the motivations there quite a bit. I question the rationale that he's using for his longevity. And I think we're supposed to. I think we really are, because if you see somebody that's 2,000 years old, that's still going through the process of hiding who they are, is still going through the process of living, bite-sized pieces of life, 7 years here, 10, 15, whatever it happens to be, moving on to the next spot, see, to me, that goes against the idea that you're done with life, because you're continuing to do the things that you're living. You're teaching in front of people. You're getting the respect from all of these students. They absolutely loved him. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't have all of those. You should kind of like rob yourself of those little positive things, those little nuggets of actual living and happiness inside of your life. I don't know. What do you all think? I question the motivations, because he said one thing, but he did something decidedly different. And I think that was supposed to be kind of driven home by the emergence of the prior wife, or one of his prior wives, coming forward and saying, you can't do this anymore. And I think that was the piper coming. It was time to pay. And because the thing that I took from all of this is, you think to yourself, okay, you can be sympathetic for Walter. You absolutely can. Homie's lived this life. He doesn't want to live anymore. However, he's ruining lives in the process. He's continuing to marry these women, then leaving them in 10 or 15 years before they can say, why aren't you getting older? Leaving them before they pass away themselves. I don't want to be around for that. It speaks more, those actions speak more to who Walter really was than what Walter told us. Now, I'm not saying he was evil. I'm saying that he was just maybe not as good as he himself was sort of lending Sam to believe, and making himself seem more sympathetic than he really was. And that, friends, is the mark of an incredible narrative device, an incredible, like a 25-minute written play. You're able to get all of that from one of these characters. Amazing stuff. This show, This narrator, thank you for being here, friends. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel, and it allows me to alert you next time it's time for a little Twilight Zone. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But all that was then and this is now, my friends, and now, unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye from the Twilight Zone. And normally when we say goodbye from any of our other series, as a reward for being the audience, the Greek chorus, we can jump back into a scene from the episode that we just watched and say goodbye from there. That's the reward. But with the Twilight Zone, we do something decidedly different. We say goodbye as a result of having watched this episode of the Twilight Zone. So, my friends, good news, we're immortal. Bad news, we have to cover it up. How do we do it? Do we believe ourselves to be a sympathetic figure like Walter did? Or are we decidedly something different? Maybe a little darker, maybe a little more selfish? I don't think we can answer that question, at least not for 100 years. Until such time as we can watch the next one of these great stories, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.